Hi, hello, and welcome back. As per request by my college roommate and two random strangers, I'm back to make another video. And so today I thought I'd just ask myself random questions. So a couple days ago I was reading this article on the New York Times. Actually, I'm just gonna pull it up now. It's a New York Times article called The 36 Questions That Lead to Love. And so I'm just gonna ask myself these 36 questions that are pertinent to myself to self-explore myself and then share with you guys, whoever's watching, whoever wants to know. So let's get started. So the first question is, given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want to have as a dinner guest? Honestly, I'm not really sure on this one. I think this one's really hard to me. Like, there are people I would want to have for dinner, but I feel like I'd be so self-conscious and so nervous about it that I wouldn't be myself. So then I would just end up choosing my mom or something and eat dinner with my mom because I wouldn't be scared at all. If I had to choose anyone in the world right now that's alive, I have in my mind this idea of the final supper table that I would have, which is Mitsuko Uchida and Georgia O'Keeffe. You know, maybe I'll have dinner with Mitsuko Uchida. She's just such a butterfly, flowery, happy person. I think it would be really nice to have dinner with her. She just has this ethereal sort of presence in the way that she plays, and I think there'd be a lot to learn from just sitting down and talking with her. So probably maybe Mitsuko Uchida. We'll go with that for now. Would you like to be famous in what way? I don't think I would want to be famous. I think the fame would intimidate me, and I don't like having too many eyes on me like that. I think I strive to be a charismatic person or a respectful person, but I don't think I necessarily would thrive under fame. Okay, so the third question is, before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you are going to say? Why? Well, honestly, my first round of interviews for post-grad jobs, I used to over-rehearse interview questions, and it made me sound totally robotic, and I guess that definitely was not good. And I guess in terms of friends, no, I don't know. Sometimes I have topics I'd be oh, that'd be fun to talk with this person about, but I don't know if I rehearse what I'm gonna say over the phone. I know a lot of people are intimidated by calling people and using the phone to communicate with one another, but I find it kind of nice. It's kind of intimate, and I actually prefer calling people over texting, or I prefer just more intimate interactions, seeing people in person than texting, because I'm kind of a horrible texter. So there's that. Question number 4, what would constitute a perfect day for you? I actually have thought about this before. So a perfect day for me was in pre-COVID, I had this perfect day for me. So I'll just go with that for now. It would definitely be a Saturday, Sunday, and when I was in the city, I would wake up and I'd head downtown to Ground Support, which is my favorite coffee place. And I would sit there and journal, get my things together, work on finances and stuff like that. And then I usually meet with a friend at Raku, which is my favorite restaurant, and I'd have udon. And then after that, I'd probably head to McNally Jackson and just look at the book selection during that time. And then I always sign up for a 4 p.m. bar class near Washington Square Park at this bar studio, and so I do that. And then I go home and meal prep for the rest of the week, and then I just have a chill evening. So that's a semi-perfect evening day for me. So that's how to answer that. Next question, when did you last sing to yourself or to someone else? I honestly don't know. I am kind of weird, and I do sing to myself a lot, but oh my god, I'm so dumb. I sang to my mom this morning because they were singing opera on the radio, and I was being weird, and I sang back to her, and she gave me the weirdest look. So it was actually this morning, and to myself it was also this morning because I was singing that opera to myself as well. Easy question, easy answer. Okay, now question number 6. If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, which would you want? This feels like the wrong answer, but I feel like I would want to retain my, like, a body of a 30-year-old, just because, like, there are so many health complications with, like, just becoming an older person, and I think within having those, like, physical health complications, it does, like, severely impact your mental health. I definitely would have to say body over mind for that. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Yes. It's very weird, but I definitely think for some reason that I'm going to die from breast cancer, and I don't really have an exact reason why. It's just like, I just have this hunch, and that's how I think I'm gonna die, and I hope I don't die that way, but we'll see. Next question. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? I think the one thing I would most like to have changed about the way that I grew up is probably, most definitely, that I would like to have had siblings growing up. I think growing up as an only child was not only lonely, but it, like, took away from a lot of, like, social learning skills, I feel. I mean, I, like, know that I'm, like, fairly awkward and, like, that I can be, like, weird, but I don't know. I think it would have been a lot more relaxing in a way to have a sibling. Is there something you've dreamed of doing for a long time? Why haven't you done it? I would say something that I've dreamed to do for a long time. It's not for a long time, but I've noticed something that I think subconsciously is something that I've thought about.
Editing Lauren here. I know you can't subconsciously think of things. I think what I meant more so was like through personal experiences.
And that I've, like, more consciously thought about recently is that I think I would really enjoy living in a foreign country for a period of time. I think some of this stems from the fact that, like, while I was growing up, I went to Taiwan every summer, and it was kind of like a step away from, like, what I was living through in life in Nashville. It was just, like, so dramatically different, and it was, like, another piece of life. Like, I was there for, like, at least, like, 2-ish months, so, like, 6 of my life is, like, taken into, like, another entirely dramatically different place from, like, Nashville. So I think in a way that has, like, made me attracted to the idea of living in a foreign country for a long period of time, just to, like, see how that would reshape how I, like, perceive things. I guess the reason why I haven't done it is that, one, I just recently graduated from college, and 2, we're kind of in quarantine right now, and I could see myself doing it in, like, my early post-grad years, maybe, like, before I'm, like, 35 or 40. It would be fun, but we'll see. That is how I answer that. Okay, so up next, what is the greatest accomplishment of your life? That's hard. The greatest accomplishment of my life probably is to, like, have sustained happiness. I would say that's a pretty large accomplishment. Okay, next question. What do you value most in a friendship? Consistency, honesty / authenticity. I think those are 2 things that I value a lot in a friendship. What is your most treasured memory? Ew. I don't know if I have, like, one exact treasured memory, but I do think that, like, a period of time that I was, like, generally very happy and, like, fond, like, when I think back on it, it's always, like, a warm thought, is, like, probably my first year attending Brevard. It was just, like, a very happy place. Everybody was so supportive. I improved so much on violin, and it was definitely a good time. I think any close friend that I have is always like, oh, Lauren's first year at Brevard, she talks about it all the time. Well, yeah, I think that was probably one of my most treasured memories. If you knew that in 1 year you would die suddenly, would you change anything about the way you are living now? Why? Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, we're in quarantine right now, but if I knew that I was living for, like, only 1 year left, I would probably move, even though that's, like, not safe. I would move somewhere, probably back to New York City, and just, like, live my life out, like, to the fullest until I die. Yeah, and spend some time with my family for sure. Share an embarrassing moment in your life. There are a lot. I embarrass myself, like, a lot. I, like, unnaturally tend to fall into weird situations and be weird around people, and it's like, Okay, let me just like talk about this one. In high school, I think, okay, so there used to be this thing called like side by side, where like our youth orchestra would play side by side with the National Symphony. You could skip school and like do this, and I was like, ah, it's so fun, I'll skip school and do this. And I think it was like the same time, like the same week as like AP exams, which was like honestly kind of dumb that I did it, because like I really needed to study. So I was like tired, and like we were having our first rehearsal, and it was downtown, and my high school was in downtown, but I was like really tired, so I went to the Starbucks, and I was meeting with my friend to walk over, and I went to Starbucks, and I never ordered coffee before, and I don't like the idea of coffee, or I used to not like the idea of coffee, so I was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna order like a fruity drink and like infuse caffeine into it. So I always heard the term like, can you add a shot of espresso to it? So I thought at the time that espresso was just like simple sugar, or like some like shot of like sugary goodness that makes you more awake. And so I asked for a like strawberry acai like refresher or whatever with a shot of espresso, and the barista was like, you want a shot of espresso in that? And I was like, yeah. And I thought I was being so adult. He was like, in my years of being a barista, this was really one of the weirdest things I've ever made. And I was like, oh, I'm just so quirky. Then I drank it, and it was bad. It was genuinely bad. And then my friend came, and she was like, what'd you order? I was like, I ordered this with a shot of espresso. And she was like, why did you order that? And I was like, I was too embarrassed to even try to like explain the fact that I thought espresso was like simple sugar or whatever, and then so yeah, that was embarrassing. But good thing only me and my friend knew. But now like you guys know too. The few viewers that watch my videos know now. So that was an embarrassing moment. Probably not my most embarrassing moment, but one embarrassing moment. Next question. When did you last cry in front of another person by yourself? Okay. This is gonna sound really bad. I cried yesterday. I don't cry that often. And like, I was watching Startup, and the episode was like so the guy was like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was a really sad episode. And before that, I don't think I cried in a while. Maybe watching like another TV show or movie. I always cry in like really sad movies. But yeah, I was watching Startup yesterday and I cried then, but that was when I cried by myself. When did I last cry in front of another person? Oh, okay, so it was when the day I was moving out of New York. I remember this so well. It was like the day before I was moving out of New York. At the time, the USPS service was like going through shit. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna be like a good civilian and like use the USPS service to ship my box home, because that's what great Americans do. I took my box there, and we get there, and the woman was rude as heck. We got there, and like she saw us, and then she just walked away. And then I was like, I need to mail this box, and she was like, why'd you bring such a big box? And then it just kind of went downhill from there. It took like 40 minutes, and me and my roommate, we were just like passively like standing there waiting for someone to help us, but no one came to help us, and it was pretty awful. And then at the end, the woman like threatened to like not ship it for us and like tore off the label, and it was dramatic. It was like unnecessarily dramatic. And then I got back into my apartment and cried in front of my roommates because the people were really mean. So that's the last time I cried. Next question. Okay, if you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anybody, what would you most regret not having told someone? Why haven't you told them yet? I don't know. I don't think I have anything I would like have regretted not telling somebody. Maybe I regret not telling my like middle school crush that I had a crush on him. It sounds very elementary. Like, I can't really think of anything else right now. That might be one. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item. What would it be and why? I would say probably my violin. It has like the most like personal and monetary value to me. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay, so this is the last question I'm going to answer. My Alexa just rang. But this is the last question I'm going to answer, and it is, what does friendship mean to you? And I think I want to say like companionship. I think companionship is like a fairly okay, like 7 out of 10 response. Like I definitely think I could have like a 10 out of 10 response, but I definitely think friendship is like growing with one another, finding good in one another, wanting each other to grow, and having just fun. That's like such a generic answer, but like that's what I can think of at the top of my head right now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed me just asking myself random inquiries, and I had fun doing this, so I hope you enjoyed it as well. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.